GoSun is now a certified climate neutral partner company. Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. With us from GoSun is founder and CEO Patrick Sherwin. Hi, Patrick.
Hey, great to see you again, Fred.
Great to see you. And this is pretty big news, and I think probably a long-time goal of yours. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we all know about the climate issues that we're facing, and GoSun has always been committed to being as clean and green as we can. We didn't exactly know how to manage our carbon footprint as a manufacturer. And so we found a wonderful program for Climate Partners, which enables us to offset the entire carbon emissions that the company creates. We're supporting a couple of different programs of theirs. We aren't directly installing the solar or the wind turbines as much as I'd love to. That was my former life before starting GoSun. But the offsets will neutralize the company's emissions, and now we're seeking to be sort of a carbon positive instead of, or excuse me, a carbon negative instead of just neutral. So we're trying to find additional paths to not just eliminate our footprint, but try to make our company even more. And of course, our products, being solar powered, do a great job at being emissions free. And we feel like in the carbon footprint conversation, GoSun is a really great entry into the conversation in general. Our products get more and more people into solar, so they can begin exploring where other emissions reductions are available to them, whether that's solar for their whole home or going with an electric vehicle. GoSun products are kind of the gateway or the entry level to going solar.
That's terrific. And of course, you made your name initially, I think, with your solar ovens, and there is a bit of news there too, right? You've expanded some of the capabilities of these solar ovens. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we're definitely always innovating and always trying to make our products more and more readily available, usable, relevant, versatile. We began electrifying our solar ovens about 5 years ago, and now our entire fleet is hybridized. So you can cook with the sun when it's available during the day, or you can cook with 12-volt electricity indoors or at night. And what's unique there is you're still cooking inside a vacuum insulated chamber. The GoSun vacuum tube solar oven is extremely efficient at holding on to heat. So now you're only using 1/10 of the electricity when cooking a meal on 12 volt. So we can have a 350-degree oven in the GoSun Sport with just about 7 amps or 80 watts of electricity. And that's about 1/10 of what a microwave or a toaster oven or an electric stove would use.
And that energy could actually be produced from the sun too, if you hook things up right.
Yeah, by all means. And then stored with lithium ion, which we're doing a lot with different power banks these days. And so, and doing more and more to make our appliances utilizing 12 volt. We have a series of appliances that provide everything for off-grid living, including some kind of comforts, like a heated blanket and a fan, all of which run on 12 volt, which is the most common port in the world, found on every car, truck, boat, RV made since the 1950s. And we've really embraced 12 volt since our appliances are so efficient, they don't need regular household power.
Just terrific. So people can cook inside, outside, wherever they happen to be with the new electrification. And are older models of the solar ovens, are they adaptable to this? Tell us how that works.
Yeah, the electric heating module is in the cooking tray. So if you have an older GoSun, you can just get the new cooking tray, and that way you can use, you've got everything else that you need. We find people cooking in a lot of interesting applications. You just mentioned cooking on the go. Like we have a customer that's using a prototype on a bicycle, like in a side bag of his bicycle. You can cook like in the car, which is quite convenient. Whether you're on a job site or something, you just plug in and reheat last night's pizza. When you're kind of on the go, you don't have to deal with fast food. And the sport is legitimately, and as well as the go, they're both tuned to be set at 350 degrees, which is that easy temperature that so many recipes are made at. And of course, an oven is an easy way to cook just about anything. The food stays really, moist and kind of full of its own flavors. Because the oven chamber is more or less sealed. So yeah, it's a real joy. The Fusion, which was the first solar oven that GoSun made as a hybrid, and it's our larger solar oven. It's can cook for about 6 people. The electric heating element on the Fusion maxed out at about 150 watts because it's on 12 volt. And since it's such a large oven, that wouldn't enable the oven to get above 300 degrees on electricity alone. In the sun, it'll get to about 350. So the electric heating mode was sometimes a little slow and a little underwhelming. So with the smaller ovens, the Sport and the Go, it really now becomes a very reliable electric stove.
Just terrific. And you've done some new partnerships, I think, too. Tell us about that in bringing new products to market.
Thanks. Yeah. So, over the last decade now that GoSun's been around, we have innovated across a broad spectrum of off-grid appliances, the ovens, solar-powered coolers, a water purification and sanitation system, a coffee brewing system, lighting, power. And we basically wanted to put all of that under one roof, so to speak, or put all of that on wheels. So last year, we partnered with an RV manufacturer called Camp 365. And since their RV was already super efficient and streamlined and super easy to tow, it was a perfect fit to basically take off all of the conventional RV appliances, which are often rather energy hungry, using propane and whatnot, and put on all of our GoSun appliance suite. And so now you can truly stay off grid when camping. You don't need to be at a campground and plugged in for power or water. And you can keep having an abundant, fun, wealthy life without the grid. And we're translating that same concept over into the boating industry. We love mobility. We know that it's a little bit more of an undertaking to take on an automobile. There's so much already happening in micro mobility with scooters and electric bikes. So we started looking at the marine industry, and we managed to partner with a European manufacturer of inflatables that are truly mind-blowing with respect to durability, efficiency, and again, versatility. The first boat we launched was this spring. It's called the GoSun LCAT. And this is it's 250 pounds. It's a double stitched, drop stitched PVC that when inflated, when unrolled and inflated, which takes about 10 minutes, the boat is 15 feet long, 8 feet wide, 7 feet tall. And it's got a solar array on the rooftop and a electric motor. It's about 3 horsepower electric motor that clips along at about 6 knots. It's probably the world's most efficient boat. You can have 6 passengers. You can travel for miles. I mean, you can go tens of miles in a single charge. And then while you're out and about, you can recharge the motor with the solar. And I've used it now on camping trips. I've used it in the open ocean. I've used it on rivers and lakes. And when it's folded up, I can load it into the back of my van just by myself, just to give you a sense of the mobility. So it's almost like a pontoon boat in size, but yet one person can throw it around.
Wow. What's that selling for, Patrick?
Our target price is around $10,000. With some of the challenges that we've faced with logistics and shipping, I believe the price is just slightly north of 10K right now for the GoSun LCAT. And we're working to innovate and push that further, and push the price down to make it more and more accessible, and make the ride more and more comfortable and capable. So we're currently working on a version that has a center console or kind of a helm, because the first version was tiller driven. So we're working on kind of a more compact version. We're working on something that's a little bit more ready for bigger water. I have a background in running a lot of whitewater rivers, and so I'm interested to see where some of that can come into this inflatable space. The drop stitch, which is something that military developed about 30 years ago, has really been the technology that advanced, say, for example, the inflatable stand-up paddleboard that now has become so ubiquitous. And with that technique, inflatables are no longer stuck into cylindrical formats. You can have kind of plates or squared objects. And so there's not a lot of limitations anymore. And from my background in whitewater rafting, I know how durable an inflatable boat can be. And of course, not all of us want to have to lug around a giant trailer, have the garage to store our boat in, and then deal with all of the maintenance of taking care of the hull. And a standard boat is, again, 10 times heavier than a GoSun. And with that, there's just so much more power needed to move it across the water, and then all the maintenance and expense. So we're trying to kind of, once again, disrupt a new industry with things that are elegant and frugal or efficient, and simply don't require all the drama of the conventional methodology.
And you left the word fun out because they all sound like fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. Any chance to be on the water, sign me up. And so, you don't have to be ripping across the water at 60 knots with, your hat flying off, and you can't talk to the person next to you. 6 knots is just fine. And you can still sip your beer and keep your hat on. And, that's my motto. Any chance to be on the water. Maybe that's because I'm from landlocked Ohio, but anytime somebody invites me to go out on their boat, I'm down. Any excuse I can have for a weekend boat trip, I go for it. I actually have a fleet I have about 7 boats myself, and then the GoSun LCAT's just adding to that fun.
Just terrific. For more info, Patrick, the best place to go?
Our website, gosun.co, and right at the top, you'll see a new tab. We just keep adding tabs, Fred, as you know. Ovens, coolers, water, camper, boats. And underneath that boat tab, you're going to see a lot of cool stuff happen over the next couple of years. We are really committed to electrification of our waterways. It's so much easier. It's so much more intelligent than liquid fuels on the water. And yeah, we can't wait to really disrupt the space.
Terrific. Patrick Sherwin, thanks for taking time with us.
Thank you so much, Fred.